What's up, people? We are back with some Friday evening, afternoon fiesta fights. This is gonna be a TVZ, everybody's favorite matchup. It is the pink Zerg Timbo Slice going up against the teal Terran B-Breed. So both players playing their main race. It should be a good one. I think these guys are pretty evenly matched. Don't know when was the last time they faced each other in this matchup, but I do believe it was fairly even. Now, first thing we want to look out for is whether or not B-Breed is going to go for his Zerg killer build. It hasn't been having too much success on the ladder, and in fact, it doesn't really look like a Zerg killer build, but it has historically been able to find success against the likes of Timbo Slice. So let's see if B-Breed resorts back to that. He does have a few other builds in his back pocket, such as a Banshee opening. We did see him go for Hellion Cyclone earlier on his stream. It didn't quite work out for him, but that is always a possibility. Pretty standard openings from both players, so not much to discuss there. B-Breed is going for a relatively quick expansion, but we do see Terrans go for that very greedy triple CC opening at times, so perhaps B-Breed will be throwing down a fast third in maybe another minute or so. Timbo taking his third just about now. Pretty standard for Zerg in this matchup. A Reaper is going to make its way inside the main base of the Zerg. Zergling's a little bit out of position, so one drone going to get low and gonna turn into an extractor temporarily. And these Lings slowly chasing that Reaper off creep. None of them do go down, so fairly even opening so far. This Reaper, of course, still alive, so it can jump back in later on for a scout, maybe pick off a drone later on. We just have Zergling speed on the way, additional queens, all standard stuff so far. There's that third CC for B-Breed. We do have a factory swapping over onto that reactor, so double Hellion production. Another barracks in production, and so far does look like that Zerg killer build. A little bit of a skirmish once again with that Reaper and the Lings, but nothing going down. And yeah, just Hellions 2 at a time. This gas not fully saturated. I guess he doesn't really need gas right now. Going up to almost 300. That's something B-Breed will like to correct sooner rather than later if he is going for any sort of tech-heavy play. Now we have 4 Hellions and that Reaper. Going for a little bit of harassment onto that third base. The units of Timbo nowhere to be found. Where are the queens? Where are the Lings? They do show up, but a little bit late. And 4 drones do lose their lives there, as well as the Lings. And B-Breed just rotating back around, gonna dive into the natural this time. More drones going down, and Timbo having a bit of trouble against only a handful of Hellions here. And the queen count, it's good enough, but they were out of position. And these Hellions being an absolute menace. 16 drones going down. I wouldn't be shocked to see Timbo just leave the game right now. Hopefully he does not, because we do see he is still up in workers. But Timbo has been known to get frustrated and just leave the game at times. I think his awareness of the map could be better. He should have noticed those units moving out. Do ideally like to have like a Zergling out here and overlords in these random perches on the map. He does have one here. So actually the overlord position is pretty decent. I don't know if he just missed that move out. But it looks like things gonna be settling down despite those heavy losses. Still a fairly even game right now. And we do have the layer on the way, just completing now. And Timbo does often forget Bailing speed, but he does start that up there. And what's gonna be the layer tech of choice? Is it gonna be his favorite Hydras or Spire? Or is he just gonna go for a Ling Bane style and rush up to Hive? Nothing just yet. B-Breed has landed his third base. So the economy fairly even, to be quite honest, with the triple mules. It looks like B-Breed is looking to move out now. Pretty substantial marine force here. And Timbo gonna need to spot this. He does spot that with the Overlord. And he is gonna get that notification that his units were being attacked. So does he have enough? That is the question. There is only one tank here for B-Breed. And Timbo is just gonna go on in, takes out that tank right away. Bailing speed not quite done yet, just finishing up now at the end of that, but all the Banelings do go down, and no additional Banelings being morphed. This is a little bit dicey. Medevac does go down, so these Marines have no healing. Every stim is going to be huge, but where are the units from Timbo? He once again has so much money in the bank. What are you doing? Spend your larva only just now starting those Zerglings, and this is so sloppy out of the Zerg player. Few Banelings going to be finishing up here. And we do have a tank from B-Breed. Only one, but very sloppy from Timbo, kind of letting his lings just trickle in, and the queens do end up going down. They had a lot of energy, no transfusions on them. Actually, one queen still alive, very low on HP there, and somehow this small Terran force still standing strong. B-Breed rallying a lot of units over. And can Timbo muster up a defense here? He does have his 1-1 upgrades to the only +1 for B-Breed. So upgrade advantage going to be in favor of the Zerg. Can he utilize that into a successful hold here? Still so much money in the bank. This macro hatchery could have been down a lot earlier, and Timbo's just gonna go for it. I don't know if that was the right idea, but he does take out a few tanks, handful of bio. There's nothing to defend over here, so I would have rather him waited, but He does take out a few stuff. Now B-Breed's gonna push on in. He does cancel that 2-2. So it is just gonna be 1-1 here for Timbo. Still a 1 upgrade lead, but the units just not here for Timbo. 2,500 minerals in the bank, 1,700 gas. He just can't produce stuff. You really need to be just non-stop making queens, non-stop making Ling Bane, but I think this is going to be the final stand. GG gets called, and B-Breed going to take game number 1. What's up, folks? We are back in game number 2, and what is happening? I think I might have messed up. Messed up the game because I'm the Terran player. And we're just gonna remake that. Okay, here we go. We are back. This is game number 2 in this TVZ series between the pink Zerg Timbo Slice. And this time in the yellow, the Terran player, B-Breed. A pretty straightforward game number 1 with the Marine tank parade push that just broke Timbo's back. Didn't have enough stuff. A lot of money, but not enough stuff. And don't forget the, 16 or so workers killed by the little Hellion hit squad there. Hopefully game number 2 we see a little bit cleaner play out of Timbo. We do know he doesn't like to spend his money, but gonna have to if you want to do well in StarCraft 2. Now openings pretty standard from both sides. Timbo's going for a hatch pool. No gases just yet. That's a little non-standard. Don't really know what to say about that because it's not normal. I guess it does allow him to get lings just a little bit faster, get that queen just a little bit faster. But yeah, I don't know if that was a mistake or what. But we do have the Reaper on the way. Another fast command center for B-Breed. And factory follow-up, so pretty much the same exact opening as the last game. We do have that hatchery finishing up, spawning pools done, 4 lings on the way, double queens, and a drone moving out take the third base. Can he get that down before the Reaper intercepts? Oh, no! Oh, wait. Oh! The Reaper not paying attention. And that's a pretty nice little victory for Timbo. It's super frustrating to have that third base get denied like that. But B-Breed wasn't quite paying attention. So third does get plopped down for the Zerg player. And we do have Ling Speed in production now. 2 additional queens. And over on the Terran side of things, another barracks, another command center. Pretty much the same thing we saw last game. These Terran players, so greedy, man. Look at this no wall off in the front as well. Against a little more aggressive Zerg player, this game would be essentially over. Just 10 Lings running in would ruin his day. But perhaps B-Breed playing the player knows that Timbo not really an aggressive boy. So he feels safe and comfortable to go for this fast 3cc with no wall. Now Timbo, he does spot these 2 Hellions moving out with this Overlord. Was he paying attention, or is he going to lose a lot of workers yet again? Let's see. Not a whole lot here out of the Zerg, just a few queens, 4 Zerglings, but likewise only 2 Hellions and a Reaper for B-Breed, not even moving in. And now we do have 10 Lings in production though, Baneling Nest as well, so maybe Timbo wants to go for something aggressive. Overlord goes in for a scout, does get picked off, but here come the 4 Hellions and Reaper, and once again gonna find a good amount of drone damage. I don't know if that was a miscontrol, but could have fired at least another once or twice and gotten a few more drones. But as it stands, 3 drones going down, and nothing going down on the way of the Terran player, so that's not bad. And a lot of Lings here from Timbo, but now he does switch back into drone production. So just some safety Lings. They didn't really do a whole lot. They didn't help in that defense back there. So not sure what this is all about. Layer on the way. And for the Terran, it looks like just going to be a similar build as last game once again. Marines, and this factory does have a tech lab on it, but no siege tank on the way just yet. We do have a starport in production as well. And these Hellions and Reaper just gonna poke around, not really gonna find too much additional damage here. Timbo's lair does complete, and he's actually going for a Roach Warren. That is an interesting choice. I feel like it's a little too late for any sort of Roach aggression. Certainly not a great unit in this matchup, and especially not against Bio. B-Breed gonna poke in once again, take out a couple creep tumors, but these queens quick to replenish those nasty little thingies. And so we are moving on. The third base gets landed, and these Marines just gonna take out that Overlord there, but Timbo did get that information that the third has been claimed. And no 4th yet from Timbo. It's a little slow for a ZVT. I would have liked to see that go down maybe like a minute or so ago. And looks like B-Breed gonna be moving out once again. This Overlord does spot it, so what's Timbo gonna be doing? 5 roaches in production. More Banelings being morphed, and Baneling's speed is going to be ready for this fight. So Timbo on paper does have what's necessary, but hopefully he does not just try to squeeze through this singular choke point, but that is what he's going to do, it looks like. You always want to try to set up multiple angles, but is it going to matter? Maybe not, as there is a lot of Zerg stuff. There's another tank in the back here, but just wasn't a very scary army there from B-Breed, and a handful of it was down here, not really helping out. Timbo actually just gonna waddle forward with his roaches, taking a lot of damage there. I think he could have waited for some additional lings, but either way, does clean that up, and he does earn himself a 30 supply lead in this game. And there's that fourth finally being placed down, and that back pocket location, I don't know what you even call that. You did have to mine out these gold minerals, but it is going down now. And B-Breed, I thought he was moving out once again, but maybe not. These tanks kind of siege in a strange position here, and B-Breed's gonna have some catching up to do, it looks like. Timbo looks like he's gonna commit pretty heavily into roaches. He's even getting +1 ranged weapons as well. Roaches, not that great in this matchup, I've said it before, but can he make it work? Wouldn't mind seeing a few Ravagers as well, just to quickly bile down the tanks. But Ling Roach, not really something we ever see. No Banelings in the mix either. But we do have a lot going on here for the Zerg. We've got an infestation pit in production, completed just now, as well as a Spire on the way. Not sure. Okay, he does start off the Hive. So, infestation pit just going to be for the Hive. I thought maybe we were going to see infestors for the fungal growth, but we are not so lucky today. Now, B-Breed, he has gotten himself a 10 supply lead somehow. Worker count 70 SCVs to 60. That is very uncharacteristic for this matchup. You usually want to see the Zerg up at 80 or 90 drones, but Timbo going for a very low drone count. This is very dark style, or should I say Kevin Lee style. Kevin loves to go for a low eco and huge army. And let's see how this works out for the pink Zerg. He has gotten himself up to almost max supply, but I'll say it again, this army just doesn't inspire a lot of hope from me. Let's see if he can find a good angle, maybe coming from multiple sides. But again, not gonna happen, I guess. Or maybe. Okay, that's not the worst fight I've ever seen. He tried, but where were the Banelings? I don't know if we had any. And yeah, the Zerg supply just plummets. Did we even have any Banelings in that? I don't know, but wasn't the greatest fight. Not the worst. He did try to go from multiple angles, but I just don't think roaches are the way. And now B-Breed up almost 50 supplied, roaches just trickling in, but they're not that good. Hank not really participating in the fight, and it looks like maybe Timbo can muster up a defense here, but at what cost? Worker count down to 49, not that it was ever high in the first place, but just a handful of Marines making things real scrappy here, and 150 to 80 supply of the Zerg. I think we're going to have to see him tap out shortly. Hive never really came into play. Adrenal glands 60% done, but it's just too late. Spire never came into play, and this is the last hope for Timbo Slice. He does have some Lings, some Banes. His upgrades are a little bit better, but the supply does not lie. 175 to 95 does clean up that secondary attack at the 4th, which is now the 3rd because this 3rd got taken out. And looks like B-Breed actually gonna be backing up now. And Timbo gonna be looking for some counter damage, perhaps. He does run into a wall here, but there is an opening over on the side. Thankfully, B-Breed wasn't too far away, was already in the process of pulling back. So he does manage to clean that up, or repel it rather, with only 10 SCV losses. And B-Breed in an excellent spot in this game number 2. He is maxed out to Timbo's 118 supply. And what is Timbo's plan here? Gonna try to get up to Ultralisk, those big beefy space cows. Pathogen glands on the way as well. So can we see some infestors in this game? We do know spellcasters an excellent way to claw your way back into the game, but will it be enough? Can he even get them in time? So it looks like B-Breed does not want to give him that opportunity. He's going to be moving out. Going to be clearing up some of the creep in the middle of the map. Scans forward to see what Timbo has. And, oh, what are these Ravagers doing? Had an opportunity there to take out these rocks, to take out the tanks, but it is too late for that now, and I don't know if Timbo has enough to defend here. 44 Lings on the way. Here comes B-Breed slowly making his way through this slow zone. And oh, the tanks are unsieged. If there was ever an opportunity, it would be now. Timbo pounces, but it is just not enough. And unfortunately, the Ling, Bane, Roach Ravager not going to be able to clean up those tanks, and now it's going to be very difficult as the Terran army advances further and further into the Zerg base. And I don't know. Oh, tanks unsieged once again. And the tanks do go down, but where are the Banelings? Only, what, 2 Banelings in this army? Gonna want a little bit more than that. But without the tanks anchoring his position, B-Breed forced to back up once again, and Timbo lives to see another day. We do have that Ultralisk Cavern completed. No Ultras on the way or on the field. He is getting the upgrades for them, but still no Ultras. Similarly, we have the Spire, but no air units. Very frustrating to see out of the Zerg player. I think a few Ultras would be absolutely huge, because this is mostly Marines here, and Marines just tickle Ultras. Finally, we have 2 on the way. They do already have chitinous plating. No +3 carapace, unfortunately, but they are still very tanky, very beefy. They do a lot of damage with their claws. Can he get them? But Timbo just running out off creep, not even waiting for his Ultras. That is a huge mistake. Loses everything, and GG gets called. What an anticlimactic finish to game number 2. Alright, we are back once again. This is game number 3 in this TVZ series, and we are looking at the main base of the Pink Zerg. Currently down 0-2. Gonna need to play a little bit better, to be honest. He's been getting spanked the last 2 games. It is Timbo Slice. And his opponent, the Teal Terran, in firm control of this series so far. It's B-Breed. So I think this gas is a little early. I'm not quite sure. At least when I play Terran, I typically get that at the same time as the barracks. But I'm not a Terran player, so I'm not sure if that's normal. Timbo just going for hatch first once again, and I would be shocked to see anything different out of Timbo Slice. Once again, a hatch pool. I'm curious why he goes for hatch pool and not hatch gas pool. Just delay that gas a bit, but not a huge variation either way. We do have the first Reaper in production. Now this is a longer map, which does typically favor Zerg a little bit. However, that also means it takes longer for the creep to really get spreaded further into the map. Cyril has famously said that he doesn't like this map, despite it being kind of Zerg favored. So we'll see if that comes into play at all. We have the Reaper making its way across the map. Timbo's going to be taking his third base in that line formation, so Reaper not even going to have a chance to intercept. And he's just going to hop into the main, and well, almost got himself trapped over there. Does back off. And ooh, Marine venturing out to try to take out this Overlord. Not going to be so lucky, as it does escape onto... Huh? Wait. Huh? This is a safe spot. And does he make it? Oh no, he's not in the ideal position. At least I think that's a safe spot. But it is wonky sometimes. You gotta be right dead in the center. So good pick off there from B-Breed. And Timbo asking, isn't that a safe spot? Now I'm not so sure. I thought it was, but maybe not. Maybe he just wasn't in the middle. I don't know. But that does hinder Timbo quite significantly in this game. He loses that frontal vision. Of course, losing an Overlord this early, never fun. B-Breed once again with the reactor factory getting double Hellions. Looks like he was supply blocked for a little bit, so the Hellions a bit staggered there. Third command center in production. Timbo still upset about that Overlord spot. And I'm pretty sure it is a safe spot, thinking about it now. But the game must go on. We've got some creep queens not really doing their job. Wait. Creep tumors cost 50 energy? Never mind, I think that's normal. So it was doing its job. Hellion hit squad once again, poking into the third. This time Timbo with a lot of lings, gonna get the full surround on the Hellions. That's a nice little catch. Of course, a bit sloppy out of the Terran to get himself into that pickle. But did cost Timbo a lot of larva to make those lings, so he is only 8 workers ahead. And we do have triple CC for B breed. So slight edge to Timbo at this stage of the game. And taking out those Hellions does enable him to drone up pretty freely for the next minute or two. We do have another Overlord in this position. I don't think Timbo ever floated in for a scout. He usually does, only really scouting the outskirts of the base. We do have B-Breed going for the 1-1 upgrades. No such thing on the way yet for Timbo. His double Evo still in production. And Timbo has been making a lot of units. He's actually down in workers, only just now retaking the lead by only 3. But quite a large Ling Bane army here for Timbo's slice. And he does start off his 1-1 as well, quite a bit behind his opponent. Let's see if B-Breed goes for that 1-1 timing attack, and if he hits right when it finishes before Timbo has his own, it could be pretty scary. This time it is going to be Widow Mines. We do have that armory in production. There it is. It's going to, of course, allow them to remain invisible when they're burrowed. And I do think that is a safe spot. Yes, I'm still dwelling on that, as is Timbo probably. Supply count's fairly even. Going to be a slight army edge to the Terran, slight worker edge to the Zerg. And once again, the 4th bit slow here, only just now going to be starting up at 7 minutes and 47 seconds or so, 46. There we go. Yeah, would have liked to see that a little bit earlier, but it's okay. Better late than never. And the 1-1 does finish for the Terran. I would have liked to see him hit that 1-1 timing, but it looks like he's going to allow the Zerg to equalize on that department. So the faster 1-1 not going to come into play, and it is going to be Hydralisks this time around. It is Timbo's favorite unit. Don't think they're really that great. Hopefully he goes into Lurkers. We do have 2-2 on the way now for the Terran player, just as Timbo's 1-1 finishes. And a bit slow on the 2-2 there for Timbo. Still not starting them just yet. We've got 28 more Lings in production. I don't know if Timbo is thinking of some aggression or what, because he hasn't really seen anything that warrants this type of defensive response. A few Hellions gonna be cleaning up some creep, very annoying. No reaction there from Timbo, just allowing this to happen. Still not moving his units. I don't know what he was doing, but he allowed a lot of creep tumors to go down. The Lings do clean that up eventually. And 4th base being taken from B-Breed, and you never want to be on even bases with the Terran. So B-Breed playing this very well so far, keeping up in the worker count. Even taking a very slight edge, actually. And pretty quiet game so far. Neither player really going for any huge aggression here. And Timbo once again going for a pretty low drone count. He is attacking up into the Lurkers. And We all know how excellent lurkers are. Looks like now finally the Terran player gonna be moving out to scan in the middle of the map, gonna be cleaning up some creep. Only 2 tanks in this army and 3 Widow Mines. Does he have the Widow Mine upgrade? What do you guys think? Yes or no? Of course not. Why would B-Breed ever get that upgrade? But not a whole lot of splash damage in this army. 2 tanks, 3 Widow Mines. That's not a huge amount. And 2 of them not even burrowing. Likewise, only however many this is, Banelings for Timbo. Slice and those Widow Mine shots pretty big. Timbo losing a lot in that initial engagement, but I think it was okay enough. Now B-Breed can't really press forward, but with the reinforcements, maybe 28 more Lings in production here for Timbo Slice now. He did get +1 ranged weapons instead of going for the +2 melee, and I think that is a mistake. You're always going to have way more Lings and Banes, so you probably want to prioritize the melee. Timbo keeps bleeding out units and not enough Banelings. You don't want to just stay here. And there's not a whole lot to defend here other than creep. Once again, I feel like you should just back up and get better units there. He goes morphing a lot of lurkers here. Does B-Breed know about the lurker tech? He never scanned the main base to see that. So that does mean he's on a timer. He does scan now, and that's going to be his first inkling of lurker tech. Now, they do not have their full upgrades just yet, but they are still a very formidable unit to contest with. B-Breed kind of just allowing the lurkers to get right up in his face. They do burrow and take out a lot of Terran supply there. And Timbo establishing himself a 30 supply lead in this game with the lurkers. Scan going down, but for what? He doesn't have anything to deal with this. We have a single ghost. I think it dropped a snipe on a Hydralisk there. And let's see how good B-Breed's ghost control is. He only has 5 of them. And Timbo are gonna be pressing forward. And I don't know if B-Breed's gonna have enough here. Widow Mine not gonna get a good enough shot there. And these lurkers pretty much uncontested. Hydralisk dodging out of the snipe there. A couple more snipes taking out I think 2 more lurkers there. That's not bad. But B-Breed gonna need to find an answer here. Not sure where this command center was going, but it is burning down. Luckily, there are no more Hydras in here to take that out. But unluckily, here come the lurkers. They're just gonna burrow in B-Breed's face. GG gets called into Timbo. Not gonna go down without a fight. Welcome back. This is game number 4 now in this series. And we're looking at the main base of the Zerg player, rocking the pink, getting himself on the board in that last game. It is Timbo Slice. And his opponent, the Teal Terran, succumbing to the very OP lurkers. It is B-Breed. So if there's anything I've noticed in B-Breed's games, it's that he has 2 very glaring weaknesses, and that is lurkers and mutalisks. We've seen him fall to the lurkers already in this series. And we see some mutalisks out of Timbo. We do know that Timbo often gets a Spire, but doesn't get any air units. And we'll see if that comes into play at all. And it's going to be, once again, a hatch pool. Does he always do this? I don't know. But not really optimal. And B-Breed just going to be starting things off with a Reaper once again. Looks like he's going to be dropping down that second command center shortly. SCV went to pick up a chunk of minerals. He's going to be holding that in his hand while he builds the command center. I'm no construction expert, but I feel like if you have something in your hand, in one hand, it's going to be difficult to efficiently build something. But this little guy, he's certainly more of an expert on the topic than I am, so I will just trust him. Third hatchery gets placed down for Timbo. The Reaper going to jump into the main, and no control out of B-Breed, and almost losing that Reaper. That was a little dicey, but I think a bit of miscontrol from Timbo as well. Maybe he was looking over here at the Overlord. Not really sure. But I think one Zergling did go down. And that's pretty decent for the Terran player. Nothing should really ever go down in that little dance, but as a Terran, kind of always have to go for that anyways, just to keep your Zerg opponent honest and get that scout. We are going to see the third DC once again. Reactor factory going to be getting double Hellions, and the Reaper just confirming that third. And both players just going to be macroing up for now. And Timbo often goes for that first creep tumor in the far edges of his base. And I get the logic behind it. You kind of want creep on the edges in case, a drop comes in. You want your queens or other units to be able to defend, but I feel like it's more important to connect your bases. I don't know. We do have a few Hellions once again, and that Reaper. Looks like they want to maybe look for some damage, but they're just chilling in the bushes right now. Overlord Scout gonna poke in. Gonna see pretty much the same thing from B-Breed. The Marines do take it out. Pretty quiet thus far. Layer on the way. More drones, more overlords. We have a bit of a supply block out of Timbo. These Hellions gonna poke on in. The Queens not in position once again. So Hellions gonna get a little bit of damage here. Queens do show up to defend 4 drones going down. And the creep spread at the front not really getting out of control just yet. Ideally, you would have it kind of out a little bit more to see where those Hellions are, so maybe Timbo didn't know they were coming down this way. Does lose a few drones for it, but he does make a whole lot more. We do have that Spire in production. We might be seeing Mutalisks in this game, and we do know that is a weakness of B-Breed. This is in a very scoutable position though. If B-Breed goes for a scan, he'll spot that right away. Hasn't gone for that just yet. And it is very important when you're playing Mutalisks to just get them out as soon as possible. They are very much a surprise unit. If your opponent knows they're coming, they get a few missile turrets, and suddenly the Mutalisks don't really do a whole lot. But if 8 to 10 Mutas show up in your base and you don't have missile turrets, they can cause an absolute ruckus in there. As the Spire does finish. And how long is it going to be before we see any Mutalisks in the production tab? Place your bets, folks, as we still do not have any in production. 4th base on the way for the Zerg player. And still no Mutas. More Zerglings on the way. Bailing speed only just started maybe about 20 seconds ago. That's a bit late there. Timbo once again forgetting that. There's no way the Spire finishes and the bailing speed did not. So another mistake there from Timbo, and he starts 11 drones while this attack is on the way. He's gonna pounce on this, but huge Widowmine shot there. And where's the stuff for Timbo? He doesn't really have a whole lot of stuff. Queens might be able to buy him some time, and look at these poor Banelings. They're not able to roll just yet. That's going to make things so difficult. This Terran army, mostly Marines, but they are doing a lot. And the Zerglings just trickling in. Can Timbo hold here? I don't know. B-Breed not pressing forward. He's just standing on creep. So Timbo knows exactly what's going on. And a lot of money once again for Timbo. He's just going to run in with pure Zerglings. That is not ideal. You want to wait for your Banelings. And Widowmines have been absolutely money so far in this push, and I think that last engagement might have done it. Look at these Widowmines, 13 kills. That one's new. 2, 6. So not too shabby out of these little guys. And Timbo forced to evacuate this 3rd base. 9 drones do go down in the process. We have 60 Zerglings in production. How did you have 30 unspent larvae all this time? Just pretty sloppy play out of the Zerg. The Broodlings do trigger a couple of the Widowmines, so that's nice. B-Breed not really spending his money either. I'm harping on a Timbo, but B-Breed, that's a pretty big mistake from his side of things as well. And Timbo, for some reason, wants to go for the fight once again. And it's actually going to go decently. But I don't know. I just feel like there's no reason to take the fight there. There's a lot of risk and not a whole lot of reward. That base has already gone down. But he does manage to clean up a few of those bio units, so it was okay. And once again, so much money here for Timbo Slice. I think probably should have dropped a couple macro hatches a few minutes ago. He's just struggling to keep up in the production. A few banelings do finish. And oh, finally we have some mutas taking the field. And that's gonna be helpful to buy Timbo some time and give him a chance in this game. But the main army, is it gonna be enough? The banelings crashing into a lot of marauders, but it might just be enough. This tank in the back was not sieged, so it does end up going down as well. And we do have a cleanup on the front for Timbo Slice. Maybe B-Breed was a little too focused on his side of the map. 22 SCVs have gone down, but well, lost all my mutas, but they have done an excellent job already. Take a look at the units lost. 8.8k minerals lost, 1.6 gas, 7.5 for the Terran, and almost 1,000 gas. So certainly favoring the Terran player, but not hugely. 16 drones have gone down to the 22 SCVs. So income still going to be favoring the Zerg here, and looked really dicey for a second there for Timbo Slice, but the mutas did give him a fighting chance in this game. In fact, I would say he's in the lead. If only he could spend some of this money. 3,000 minerals in the bank. What is you doing, boy? Would also like to see some banelings in the mix here. Still have a Widow Mine over here. But B-Breed, off the back of that muta harassment, has been struggling to pick up the pieces. His army, just Marines right now, so no additional Widow Mines, no additional tanks. We do have one of each, actually. So banelings are gonna be pretty good. We do have a handful of them now. The hive is ready for Timbo Slice, so Ultralisk Cavern on the way, Adrenal Glands on the way, plus 3 melee, plus 2 armor finishing up. So things looking fairly alright for Timbo Slice. He is trailing an army, but once those Ultralisks, 6 Ultralisks in production, and that's going to be so hard for this Terran army to deal with. But here comes B-Breed, and can he hit before the Ultralisks are ready? If he does, he could still win this game, and it's going to be very important for Timbo not to go in. Don't go in! Wait for the Ultralisk! Oh my god! The Widow Mine's taking out so much of the Zerg army, and the Zerg just gets cleaned up. He is forced to run back. The Ultralisks are ready now, so maybe it doesn't matter in the end. The tanks have gone down. There's no more splash damage, and it looks like these big beefy space cows just going to be able to cleave everything on the ground there. They do lift up into the medevacs, and B-Breed gonna be struggling to find an answer at this stage. He is trailing in all measures, and Timbo should just be able to barrel forward with his Lings and Ultralisk and just clean up the rest of the Terran army. We should be seeing a GG. There it is, and Timbo Slice evening up the series. Welcome back, folks. This is game number 5 in this series, and we are all tied up. I was a little scared after the first 2 games that we were just going to see a Terran bop, but this man in the bottom right in the pink, taking the last 2 games, it is the pink Zerg, Timbo Slice. And his Terran opponent this time rocking the red. Maybe gonna go for something more aggressive. As red, very aggressive color. It is B-Breed who is asking for a PP.
Game paused.
So B-Breed may be feeling a bit nervous after those last 2 games. Needs to pause and maybe turn on the stream. Maybe doesn't feel confident in a straight-up game any longer. No, I don't think he would do such a thing. Surely no. Probably just looking up builds on his phone right now. So, don't really expect any deviation in the openings for either player. Has been pretty much the same for the last 4 games. We've seen lurkers out of Timbo. We've seen mutas. What's he gonna do this time around? We did also see Roach Ravager. That didn't really work out. And I hope we don't see that again. Maybe Infestors? That's always fun. Fans always love to see those money fungals. I doubt we'll see that out of Timbo. So, just gonna wait for B-Breed to do what he has to do. Alright, we're gonna start back up here.
Game resumed.
And B-Breed did say he needs 20 minutes for something, and then quickly changing his mind, saying let's finish the game. So I wonder if that's going to influence his play. Is he going to go for something swift and decisive to try to end this early? So far, no, but can't really do anything this early aside from proxy barracks. So once again, hatch pool for Timbo Slice. And the gas going down a fair bit later. Reaper in production, SCV with the minerals in hand. Gonna be dropping that command center Once again, going to be a factory follow-up for Mr. B-Breed. Reaper finishing up, making his way downtown. Overlord does arrive to spot that command center. This time it is certainly in the ideal spot, dead center of this thingy-do. Reaper gonna be venturing forth into the natural of the Zerg player. Is met with a couple Zerglings, and he is gonna be able to take one of them out, actually. Queen pops out to protect that drone. And no third just yet for Timbo Slice. He is getting a second gas and a Baneling nest. So Timbo gonna be looking for some aggression here. But can B-Breed sniff that out? He does have a Reaper. He can jump in and spot this. B-Breed going for that 3cc, so this could work out if B-Breed does not sniff this out in time. This Reaper never made it into the main, so there is a potential here, but he is scouting back and forth for a third base, and if he doesn't see one, that could already be information enough. I guess he confirms neither third has been taken. Now he is gonna jump into the main, and that should tip him off. We do see that layer already. Does spot the Baneling nest, and kind of curious about the layer, actually. I thought this was just going to be a 2-base Baneling bus, but I guess not. And so I am not sure what's happening anymore. Maybe Timbo was anticipating B-Breed to go for aggression because he's the one that had to leave. I don't know. There's a lot of mind games involved, but now these Lings, they are running across the map. We do have a slight supply lead for Timbo. Very, very slight. But I think 6 Hellions should be pretty good against Zerglings. And Timbo gonna run in anyways and taking a lot of fire in the process. Don't think that was a great decision. Meets up with his reinforcements and goes in once again. Can he clean this up? He runs into the main base, but there are Marines to greet him there. And all the Lings do end up going down. So at the end of the day, not very worth it there for the Zerg player, who did obviously sacrifice a lot of economy to do that. The third base is still not completed. He did make a big round of drones to put himself 8 workers ahead. Now only down to 5 as he starts up 2 extractors, a Hydralisk Den, 2 more, or 2 Evos rather. So workers pretty even, but a huge army supply lead for the Terran player, and Timbo does have full vision of this, and if he's paying attention, he should be quivering in his boots right now. Just need to muster up some defenses. Does have that Hydralisk Den. Did spot this army moving out, so he does have Zerglings in production. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. And once again, the Baneling speed. Oh, no, he did get it. Okay, never mind. Sorry, Timbo. He did get the Baneling speed. So thankfully he has that going for him. But that's about all he has going for him. And this Terran army has arrived. And I don't know about this. Oh, the Banelings. They get absolutely blasted, and GG gets called. B-Breed gonna take game number 5.